Hey guys, and welcome. So this is going to be the first video in a new video series I'm producing where I'm looking at different razor blades for my safety razor or double-edged razor blades. There's just so many different razor blades out there and they have so many different properties going on. And I really haven't explored that topic too much in my videos here. On the side I've probably tried like 10 or 15 different types of blades just in my own personal use. And I've kind of settled into some of my favorites. But I just kind of wanted to go back and try all the different ones out there. There are just so many, and they're from around the world. You know, there's lots coming out of, there's a few coming out of like the US, England, India, Pakistan, Russia. Many countries are really, Turkey, a lot of countries are really producing a lot of different blades. So I just figured this would be a really interesting way to kind of try out different blades, talk about some of their properties and my experience with them. So for these videos I'm going to first explain a little bit about the blades, then we're going to do a full shave with each of the blades. And to decrease the number of confounding factors for these shaves, I'm going to be using for every single shave I'm going to be using the Merkur 34C with a fresh blade of that type in the razor. And then I'm going to be using my Omega shaving brush here. I think this is the 10080. I forgot to look it up right before I started. Sorry about that. And then I'm going to be using probably different shaving soaps. I'm going to try to use Sterling if I can. So for today's shave I'm going to be using the Sterling Bay Rum. I'd like to use Sterling for this entire series just to keep that constant. I placed an order with Sterling and it'll be in a few days, so we'll see if I can make it to them, because for right now I think I only have like 3 full pucks and a few other small pucks. Anyway, not the point here. But for today's shave, to start off this series, I'm going to be using the Derby Extra blades. You can see them there. So these are blades that are made in Turkey. They're stainless steel blades that are coated with, I want to get this right here, chromium, ceramic, platinum, tungsten polymer. I don't really know, it seems like a lot going on for these blades, but that's what they say they're coated with. And this is how they come. They come in these little 5-packs like this, a nice little plastic container that has a little bank here at the back to put in your used blades. And you can pick up a 100-pack of these currently on Amazon for $9. So that's a great deal. It's 9 cents a blade. And if these will last you a couple of shaves, you're going to be saving a lot of money. Just going into this shave, something that Derby blades are known for, they're known to be fairly dull but very smooth blades. So that's kind of what I'm expecting today. But let's give these a fresh shave in my Merkur 34C and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so I just got a shower. Facial hair is nice, hydrated, ready to go. I have 1 day of facial hair growth. I have my Sterling Bay Rum soap here that was blooming while I was in the shower. Just put some hot tap water on top to kind of loosen up that top layer of soap. Taking the bloom water and add it to my face. Alright, there we go. Empty this out. Excuse me. Alright. The shaving brush, this was soaking. It's a fairly new brush. I've actually only used it once to shave before, and that was a while ago. I got this for Christmas. So it's still breaking in, but it's a very nice brush. And it was soaking while I was in the shower, and I just put in some hot tap water in here and wrung it out so the brush is nice and dry. And I'm going to go ahead and load up. And one thing I like doing with the Sterling soaps is just loading up tons of soap, and that's really made a lot easier by blooming the soap ahead of time. Helps loosen up that first layer of soap. Alright. Tons loaded up here, nice and pasty between the bristles. Add in just a bit more water to my face, going for a face lather. Like I mentioned, this is a newer boar brush. It's really not fully broken in at all. That's one thing I really like about boar brushes, is that they break in and will develop their own personality as a brush as you use them more. And I think it's really cool being part of that process and seeing them evolve. Because they go from rather stiff brushes they get split ends in the hairs, which is what you want, and they just really soften up and just, they become really amazing brushes. Beautiful lather, nice and thick. Very happy with that. I really do like this bay rum scent. It's got a little bit of cinnamon side to it. Some clove for sure. All right, to the razor, Merkur 34C with a fresh Derby Extra blade in here. Go ahead and get wet and first pass with the grain. Alright, it's going nicely. I can definitely tell that this blade is not very sharp. It doesn't have tons of cutting power. As I'm going to my face here, it's not just like slipping down my face cutting the hair. I have to like, not push it, but just, I gotta definitely add a little bit of pressure pulling it down to cut the hairs. Alright, first pass. It's good. It's not the closest first pass I've ever had, for sure. But that being said, it was smooth and very comfortable. Definitely a lot more hair to take off still. Alright, back to the brush. Just reapply for the second pass. I just paint on. I don't think that you really need to take the time to work it in for a second pass because pretty much all the hair should be off your face, which is impeding in the first place getting the shaving lather in contact with your skin, which is what you're looking for. Second pass, cross grain. Alright, second pass, not terribly close, but we're getting there for sure. You absolutely need a third pass with this blade in here. That being said, it's very comfortable. It's just not, this blade just doesn't have tons of cutting power to it because it's not that sharp relative to other safety razor blades. So when I'm making comments about blades, like these blades, they are extremely sharp. But I'm making them in comparison to other safety razor blades, if that makes sense. I know it should be kind of intuitive, but I just wanted to make sure that was clear. Third pass, cross grain this direction. Third pass. Okay, I'm actually pretty happy with where this is at. The third pass really helped dial in the shave and kind of clean up some areas that had been missed. It's not the closest shave at this point, but I think it'll be good. Alright, going to the brush, pulling out the extra lather here with my left hand, just feeling around my face, any area I want to clean up still. There's a few areas here. Just hold my razor in my right hand and go ahead and get those. Alright, I'm happy with where this is at. I'm going to get cleaned up for some final remarks. Alright, so that was my full shave with the Derby Extra Blades here in my Mercor 34C razor. Overall, definitely a nice shave. It did require multiple passes in areas I wanted to get closer, like my mustache area, and it's still not perfectly close, but it is really good. My neck is decently close, no irritation. It felt very, very nice on my neck for sure. So overall, the properties of these blades, as I expected them to be, I'm not going to assign like a number scale or anything like that, just because it just gets a little too technical for me. I just kind of want to go with the general feel of the blades. I know people always want to scale like 1 to 5, 1 to 10, but I just don't think that that's a really great way to like really try to grade things, because like what's the difference between a 7 and 8 might be different for me or for you. So I'm just going to talk about general properties about these blades. And the big ones I'm going to be focusing on are sharpness and smoothness. On the sharpness scale, these Derby Extra blades are low. They are not very sharp blades. That made it, while I was shaving, I had to put in a little bit extra pressure to get it moving here on my skin. I had to go over multiple areas, over some areas multiple times to get them as close as I wanted. So I do not like that about the blades. But they completely redeem themselves with how smooth they are. These are super smooth blades, meaning that the edge doesn't really have any sharp edges or corners on it. It's just kind of like a feeling when you're shaving. It's not going to like nick you or grab your skin. It's just very smooth on there. And that was really nice because even though it wasn't sharp, I could go over these areas multiple times because the blades are so smooth, so I could get it down to where I want it to be, which is really awesome. So, what purpose do these blades serve out there in the wet shaving world? You know, in the Mercor 34C, I'd pick them up from time to time if I'd be looking just for like a pretty light shave, but definitely not something I would do, I'd use every day or as my regular blade. I just don't think that that's the best choice out there. That being said, I think that these have a place in the market for the new wet shavers out there. Because they're not too sharp and because they're really smooth, I think these would be a perfect first blade for people, just because you're not going to have that crazy sharpness with the danger of like really cutting yourself really easily like with a feather blade, and that smoothness is going to just make it a much more enjoyable process while you're learning how to handle a double-edge safety razor and while you're while you're developing your techniques. These also serve a purpose where I use them the most are in really aggressive razors. So in a really aggressive razor, if you pair it with a pretty dull blade that's really smooth, I find I just get great results with these Derby blades. Like in my Mercor 37C or my How to Grow Mustache Symmetry, those are both pretty aggressive razors. And with the Derby in there, they just perform great. Very smooth, and even though they're not sharp, it more than makes up for it with the razor itself because it's so aggressively designed. It more than makes up for it in the razor because it's so aggressively designed that the smoothness of the blade just really, really shines, and you're not going to nick yourself as much. So anyway, that was my review of these blades, and aside from that, they're just a great deal. You know, $9 for a 100-pack, pretty hard to beat. Great shave with it today though. It definitely made me remember what awesome blades these are. Feels good, took a little bit longer to get as close as I wanted it to be, but nonetheless a great shave in the end, and who can complain with that. So, more of these videos coming in the future with different razor blades I'm going to be rotating through, and as always guys, thanks for watching.